My name is Matthew Hatcher, and I'm a freelance photographer from Ohio. What brought me to Hong Kong was I had been paying really close attention to the news and the protests going on. And years earlier, I had watched Euromaidan unfold. And at that point, I wasn't in a place I could go cover that, but it was something that really inspired me and really kind of brought me out to something I really wanted to cover. It was a very important event, and I eventually went there, years later, but Hong Kong was happening, and I had the opportunity. A friend of mine was going, and he wanted me to go with him, and so I sprung on the opportunity to go because it was, that chance to witness something very important in history is the way I saw it. And it was something that I wanted to do before, and this was my opportunity to do
it. How did your photo come about? What was going on that day? What led you to it? Had you planned to do it?
What happened was there was this protest organized in Victoria Park, and we didn't know what it was going to be like. So me and my colleague went down there, and we got there, and it was just humongous. It was massive. I at that point, before it even got as big as it was, I hadn't seen that many people in one spot. And it started out as a protest, and then it moved out to the street to walk up through Hong Kong Island, and this huge downpour of rain started and soaked everybody. And I got separated from my colleagues, and I found myself with a videographer and another photographer. And the crowd, the street was just packed like shoulder to shoulder with people. I knew there was a bunch of people, I didn't know how many. And so we were walking up, and somebody saw our press badges, and they started clearing the way for us to go up through the crowd. And we were trying to get to this, it was like a walkway or an overpass. I don't know what you call it, I guess a walkway. And we managed to get through there. And it was really funny because as we're going through, people were parting way for us to get through. And some of them were even saying, it was really weird. They were like, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming, which working in the United States as a journalist, you never hear nowadays. But they allowed us to go through, and we get up on this walkway that goes over the main highway. And it was when we got up there that we could see just how big this march was. We got up, and like I said earlier, I'd never seen that many people in my life. I mean, it was just till, the horizon of just umbrellas, because it was raining, umbrellas. And I climbed up, and there's an open part of the window on the walkway, and I climbed up and kind of stood on the railing. And my camera was not working right because it had been, drenched in the rain. So I was having to take off the lens and take out the battery. And so I was getting pictures here and there, and that's why I snapped that one frame. And the entire time I'm doing this, these people, all these other protesters and people from Hong Kong are tapping me on the shoulder, and they're handing up their cell phone and want me to take a picture for them also. And so I'm trying to balance taking a picture, with my DSLR, and then these people handing me up their phone. And I was more than happy to take a picture, but I just kind of thought it was funny that I probably took more pictures on other people's cell phones than I did my own busted Nikon. There's a lot I took away from Hong Kong. I've covered other kind of political issues and conflicts, and each has kind of had its impact on me. But I think Hong Kong is one that really, really sticks with me in a very unique way, because you go into places like this, and going over there, I was kind of, expecting what I expect going to Gaza or Ukraine or something like that, where you got to be careful. But over there, it was interesting because people were so polite and so nice. I mean, there was one moment I remember very clearly. It was in Kwantong, and they were clashing. Police were shooting tear gas and stuff at the protesters, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, and I looked over. It was a police officer, and he was like, "Oh, excuse me, please, sorry." And he walked, and he asked me to please move out of his way. And he shot up the street with like, you know, a tear gas gun. I don't know what you call it, but so that was interesting. But I think overall, the whole movement, though, well, the most inspiring thing I ever saw was just how many people came out to support that, to support this entire thing. And it's kind of the first time I'd seen people really fighting for preservation of like their, current state, like they were really, it was something that was really interesting to see. I'd never seen that many people passionately come out from all backgrounds and unite together under like a common cause, because any more stuff in the States is so fractured that you don't see that a lot. And this is something that was so big, and it wasn't. The focus was Hong Kong. It wasn't individual needs. It was Hong Kong itself. Because even after these huge demonstrations, the protesters would come back and clean up. They were trying to destroy their city. And that kind of sends the whole message is they were coming out and cleaning up because they cared about the city so much, and that's why they were protesting. They weren't trying to get people out of office and kill them. They were trying to be like, no, we have our thing. We're trying to preserve that. And I don't know. I mean, that really is inspiring to me. It makes me kind of think a lot about how I wish like there's more of that camaraderie among people, especially with the way things are nowadays. You don't see that a lot, and that was something I'd never seen in my life before.